Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a ton of different recipes. I don't know about you, but like the start of this new year, well, first of all, I was sick for 2 weeks, and when I got over it all, the flu and everything, I was like raring to go. I wanted to get things done. And one thing that I really wanted to focus on was cooking better. I feel like, I'm a Mennonite, right? I'm supposed to be doing home cooked meals every night, right? And for the most part, the meals that we eat are homemade. But I feel like I was really stuck in a rut and making kind of the same stuff all the time. And so I've been really having fun cooking lately. I wanted to share some of the recipes that I've discovered with you. Some of them are old-time classics that I've been making for years, and some of them are just brand new ones that I tried for the first time here. I will show you how I did them and give you my review on them. And you guys can just hang out with me here in my kitchen. My name is Megan Fox if you are just finding me today, and I do love to cook, but I'm also a busy mom of two and under, so I like to do a lot of batch cooking and just make the most of my time when I'm making a mess in the kitchen. We don't have any diet restrictions really. We try to eat pretty healthy, but I hesitate to even say that because there's people out there that are gonna think we don't eat healthy, but yeah, within reason, we try to cook with real ingredients and do home cooked stuff, not eating all kinds of baked goods with tons of preservatives and things like that. But yeah, I would say if I could sum up our eating lifestyle in one word, I would just say it's pretty practical. You're also gonna see me changing outfits a lot throughout this video because I was cooking throughout the course of an entire week, so don't let that distract you. I have main dish recipes, I have a drink recipe, I have a dip recipe, cookie recipe, yet so many recipes today that I wanna share with you. But first of all, before doing any cooking, of course, I had to do a grocery haul, so let's start with that. Okay, here's an overview of everything. This side was the Aldi stuff, and this side was what I couldn't find at Aldi, so I had to go to Walmart. So let's start over here on the Aldi side quick. First of all, I got the non-garlic bread. They only actually had one package left, so I decided to try these. These are a new product for me. I know I love the naan, but I'm kind of excited about the flatbreads too. I feel like they're gonna be really good turned into my cheesy garlic bread. Also, a gallon of milk and sour cream. Whipped topping I will be using for a fruit dip, which is why I got a lot of fruit here. I'm gonna make a Nutella fruit dip, and then we're gonna have bananas, strawberries. Here's the bananas. I try to get them as green as possible because we're not eating them till Tuesday, and this is Friday. I like to go for groceries on Fridays. I need the limes and the peppers for the Korean barbecue tacos. And I love to get these little baby mini cucumbers at Aldi. They're gonna go good with, I have carrots in my fridge already and celery, and we'll have like a little veggie tray for the kids and us adults too. Also, here is cabbages. I'm actually making two different things with cabbage. Sunday, we are having a fellowship meal at church, and I'm making a big Asian salad, which takes lots of cabbage. I only needed like one package of ramen for the salad that I'm making, but they didn't have that, so I got the whole giant pack. It's okay, Ivani loves noodles, even though I know they're not good for you. The avocados were on sale, so I was just gonna get two, but they were on sale for 35 cents, so I had to get 4 of them. And look what I found, guys. You guys are right. Somebody told me that Aldi has their own now, and there it is. I had never seen it there before, but it's a Stone Mill brand, and it looks pretty similar. Also, my kids, they love mixed vegetables, which I despise, so hey, that works for me if they like them. Also, I got 2 things of pasta sauce because we're gonna be making some of these flatbreads into pizzas for one night. Couscous, oh my goodness, Ivani loves couscous, really good alternative to pasta. Well, it's pretty much pasta, I think is what it is. But yeah, I like the garlic and olive oil flavor. Also, my husband told me he needed gallon bags for end of year tax stuff. He likes to put all his documents in gallon bags, so I got some storage ones for him and then freezer ones for me. I also got some more ginger. The ginger goes in the Korean beef street tacos. Clementines for something different. We've been eating lots of oranges lately. I thought it'd be fun to have clementines, and they were 50 cents off, so I'm not sure why. Also, this is for the Italian wedding soup that I'll be making, and I tried to do better and get halves and get reduced sodium on at least one of them, and then this is the regular sodium laden broth. Also, here in the front, I got peanut butter chips and milk chocolate chips. I also have dark chocolate chips, and I ended up getting some white chocolate chips at Walmart because I'm gonna be making these healthy breakfast cookies, they're called, which how healthy can they be with all those chips? But you'll see that later in the video. Also grabbed some sharp cheddar cheese and then pork sausage for the little mini meatballs in the Italian wedding soup. This is a really big haul for me, but like I said, I'm trying to do a lot more cooking, and we have a lot of different things to cook for. So I just picked up some white cupcake liners because I happened to find them. I love the white ones as opposed to the pastel colored ones. I don't know, they're just more like neutral. I accidentally picked up the light veggie dip, but it's mostly for the kids anyway, so I think it'll be fine. My children, my 9-month-old has 6 teeth, and Ivani has tons of teeth. Anyway, I couldn't find her toothbrush yesterday, and so I decided rather than just counting on it to turn up, I'm gonna buy a pack here and then one for Fletcher and one for her. And she informed me that Fletcher gets the blue and she gets the pink. So I don't know where she got that from, but sure. This is the off-brand Nutella that I got at Walmart. That's gonna be going in the fruit dip. And I got this lemonade. One of you guys actually told me to get the Simply Lemonade to make my medicine balls. They said that's the best to make the Starbucks medicine ball. So I picked that up. It was kind of an impulse purchase. I mean, I kind of had it in the back of my mind. It was not on my list. But since I saw it there, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it because I love my medicine balls. Sauerkraut to go with pork and sauerkraut and mashed potatoes. And yeah, I think that's everything. Like I said, the total was a lot more than normal, but last week was only $48. So all the Aldi stuff was $84, and then I spent another $20 at Walmart. So if you combine my 2 weeks of $75 each, I came out under budget for the 2 weeks. But yeah, so let's get this all in the fridge, and I'll show you what I do with these ingredients. And there is everything in the fridge, all nice and organized. I love when I can see all the veggies and the fruit, and it just looks really colorful in there, and not like tons of bread and packaging. The way I kind of have it laid out is meat and cheese over here, bread and stuff on this side, although I couldn't fit the naan in. And then I have fruits in this drawer and veggies in this drawer, and they are climate controlled with the little tabs. And then here's the overflow veggies for my veggie tray and all that stuff because, yeah, couldn't even fit it all in these two drawers. And then up here is Josh's quick grab and go breakfast stuff. Here I'm making some homemade cleaner, if you guys watched that video. And then here is the drinks and milk. And look what's in my freezer right now, guys. I'm very excited about this. Oh my word, I have smoothies for days from Daily Harvest. Mint and cacao, that one is. Yeah, just a whole bunch of different ones. Hi, Fletcher. He's peeking over there. So here is what it looks like. I'm just gonna take it and submerge the whole thing in milk. You could do whatever milk you like, almond milk, whatever is fine, but we use whole milk around here for the most part, sometimes 2%. I'm just gonna take the whole thing and toss it in my Ninja right here. Let's put the blade in. There we go. And then what I like to do is take some collagen peptides. They don't have any flavor or anything, and they're just good for your nails and your hair, which if you just had a baby, anything you can get to help your hair and nails is great. So I just put a scoop of that in there yet. Lid on. Okay, so I just popped it in the blender for about a minute, and now I'm putting it right back into the cup. It looks so pretty. And then I'm just gonna add a straw. This is actually a ton of smoothie. I'll probably share some of it with Ivani. Nice and thick. And there you have it, a quick and fast breakfast for on the go. Daily Harvest is such a neat food service. Whether you're just looking to treat you and your family one time or you wanna make this a complete lifestyle change, Daily Harvest has so many different options of food you can get from them. And what I love is everything just goes right in your freezer and you can make it whenever you need to. You don't even have to work it into your meal plan. I like to use these just for emergencies when we gotta get out the door in the morning. Like I said, there's a lot of different foods you can choose from. Smoothies, harvest bowls, chia bowls, but my favorite actually has been their oat bowls, which you can eat them warm or cold. I just heated mine over the stovetop. My favorite so far has been these oat bowls, the apple and cinnamon. There's dates and walnuts and stuff in there. I didn't even realize there was cauliflower in there, but it was so good. I added a little brown sugar, and yeah, Fletcher, Ivani, and me were all fighting over it this morning. So yeah, they definitely have a lot of different variety and options. So if your mouth is watering and you'd like to try it out for yourself, whether it's just a one-time thing or you'd like to work Daily Harvest into your whole lifestyle, go ahead and check out my link down below in the description box for $25 off. And like I said, I think the best part of Daily Harvest besides the delicious food is the fact that it's right there in your freezer and it's just ready to go whenever you decide that you want it. So thank you so much, Daily Harvest, for sponsoring this video, and to all the rest of you, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Don't forget to use the link down below, that way you can get $25 off. Okay, and after all that healthy talk, let's move on to cookies. These cookies are actually decently healthy. They're called Healthy Breakfast Oatmeal Cookies, and they're actually really good, and you can really make them as healthy as you want to. They don't take any white sugar, but they do take brown sugar and honey, and then there's peanut butter, salt, baking soda, vanilla, and an egg. And then after you have that all mixed up, I always do baking with my stand mixer. I am so in love with this KitchenAid mixer. I actually got it for a wedding present, and I would not be without it. I use it all the time. Here I am just mixing the dough up, and then comes the fun part where you get to add in all the mix-ins that you want. And you just want to make sure that at the end of the day, you have about 3/4 of a cup of whatever mix-ins you want. And you can do nuts, any flavor of chips, dried fruit. I'll just tell you what I did here. I kind of did what I had on hand, but also what I knew my family would like. So we have chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, white chocolate chips, and then also craisins and raisins. You could go all gung-ho with this and add some nuts, but I don't really love nuts, and I just figured it might end up just being a choking hazard with the kids anyway. My only bone to pick with this recipe is that I love chocolate, and so when I pour in all those different flavors of chips, there's not much room for the chocolate chips. But other than that, yeah, this recipe is amazing. I just think next time I'll do half a cup of chocolate chips and the rest whatever else. You'll want to bake them in the oven at 350 and watch them really carefully. You want to get them out pretty early. The recipe does say 7 to 9 minutes, and I would say start watching them around the 6-minute mark. You want them to still kind of feel falling apart-ish while they're on the sheet, and you want to let them sit there and cook for a little while longer just to settle in together. That way they're not super messy when you try to get them off the sheet onto a cooling rack. But yeah, then just store these in the fridge or the freezer, and you can eat them in the morning guilt-free. I usually don't eat them for breakfast, honestly. They're just kind of like an after lunch snack or something. And yeah, we have loved these cookies for so long, so I hope you really like this recipe, and I will link it down below. Okay, this next recipe I was making for a church fellowship meal, and I was already buying cabbage for the Korean beef tacos I was gonna make that week, and my cookbooks were so full of so many different salad recipes, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try something a little bit off the beaten path. This salad kind of has a little bit of an Asian flair to it. First, I diced up the cabbage the night before just because I found a little bit of time to do so, and I also diced up the tomato, but I don't have that on camera here. Then on Sunday morning, I just toasted the ramen noodles and the slivered almonds in my cast iron skillet. And I do use my cast iron skillets a lot, actually. I have a couple different sizes. I'll link mine down below. They're actually super affordable. While that was all toasting, I made the dressing, and that just took vegetable oil and vinegar, Lawry seasoning, salt, pepper, and then the ramen noodle flavoring packet, which I did chicken, which is what the recipe does recommend. And then I shook it all up in a mason jar, and then I just transported everything to church, and then I tossed everything together and poured the dressing over it all right before we ate. Looking back, I probably would have been just fine doing this step at home right before we left, but I was kind of afraid it was all gonna get soggy, but I think it would have been okay. And am I gonna make this salad again? Probably not. It was good, but you know, there's just so many different salads out there to try, and at the end of the day, I think I do prefer lettuce salad. That's just me. Let me know what you guys think of this recipe if you make it. It is super pretty and colorful. And then also that morning, I had gotten up in time to make myself a medicine ball before church, and I wasn't feeling sick or anything. I just love this tea, and I wanted Josh to try it. To get the real Starbucks taste of a medicine ball, you're gonna need the actual Teavana peach Tranquility, and then also they have the Jade citrus mint tea. You're gonna want a bag of each, and I picked those up at Target. They're not the cheapest. You definitely do pay for the name, but they still are a lot more cost effective than spending $3.13 at Starbucks every time. But if anybody does know of off brands that are similar to these, I'd love to know. And then I don't actually own a teapot, so I just steamed a cup of water mixed with a cup of Simply lemonade in the microwave. And actually one of my subscribers told me that she worked at Starbucks and that Simply lemonade is the best one to use. Then I steeped the tea bags in the hot lemonade mixture for 5 minutes and added a splash of honey, and it was perfect. You could add a shot of peppermint if you keep that flavor of coffee syrup around, but I have to say it tasted perfect even without it. So if you don't have that on hand, don't let it hold you back from trying this recipe. And the tart lemon with the sweet peach and the fresh mint, guys, it's just an amazing combination. I even like to drink this cold, so it's a perfect drink for you moms. You always get distracted by your kids and you can never finish your drinks before they get cold. And just a perfect way to start a Sunday morning. Okay, now it is the next morning and it's a Monday, and I love to do lots of cooking on Mondays. So I started out by just throwing a beef roast in the crock pot, and the recipe here that I'm going to be making called for it to be in the crock pot for 12 hours, but I had only got this in around 9 o'clock in the morning, so I turned it on high rather than low. And yeah, it was perfectly fine on high for those 8 hours. This recipe is called Korean beef tacos, and I found it when I googled what to do with beef roasts, because we have so many roasts in our freezer because we got a quarter of a cow in our freezer, and for some reason we used up all the steak and the ground beef and that kind of thing. but we had so many roasts left and I was kind of getting bored of the same old roast potatoes and carrots. So I decided to branch out here with a Korean flavored dish. It was so good. And here I'm just making kind of the sauce or marinade for the roast. It just takes brown sugar and low sodium soy sauce. I used already minced garlic cloves, but then I did grate my own ginger and it made the house smell so good. It also takes beef broth, vinegar, and sesame oil, which I did not have on hand, so I just skipped that and it was still delicious. Okay, I will let you know how to make the rest of this recipe later on in the video, but right now I moved on to Italian wedding soup, which I wanted to make for lunches this week. Unlike the Korean beef tacos, the Italian wedding soup is an old family favorite. I make this all the time. My mom made it. Yeah, it's just a delicious, delicious recipe that we go back to all the time. It is a little bit labor intensive, so I like to make a big batch, and then I don't know if it's safe technically or not. I mean, I do it. I never had a problem with it, but I'll make a big batch and then pour it into jars while it's still really hot, and then they'll seal on their own, and then I'll just set those jars in the fridge. It usually makes about 3 or 4 quarts, and then we'll just try to eat them within the next month. Or you could freeze it too, but I'm sure the pasta would change a little bit in texture. Ivani loves to be involved, and here I am making the little mini sausage meatballs. She didn't really help, but she did watch and she found it very fascinating. I will list the whole recipe down below, but the little meatballs are pretty much just Italian sausage and then Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs, some salt and pepper, and an egg. Yeah, really basic. It is a little bit labor intensive because you're making such tiny little balls, but don't make them big. They end up being dry then. You want them really nice and small. And while I was forming all the meatballs, I had the garlic getting softened in the oil. And here's also where you want to put in onions. I do not cook with onions, guys. I do not enjoy onions at all. So I just used a little bit of onion salt, but I will include the onions in the recipe down below, and you can do what you want with that. And then you have to dice up all the celery and the carrots. I used my Ninja here, it is so handy. But it still takes time, guys. Soup is so nice once you have it made, but soup does take a lot of labor. I don't know if you noticed, but as a general rule of thumb, I measure when I'm baking, and then when I'm cooking, I often will use my hand just for the teaspoons and the tablespoons and that kind of thing. I kind of have some experience now, and you know what? You can't really mess up soup. So if you see me not measuring, don't be concerned. I definitely measure if I'm doing any kind of baking, because you don't even want to be a little bit off when it comes to something like baking powder or baking soda or something like that. Also, a tip on the orzo. Orzo is really hard to find, actually, and you can substitute it with any other kind of small noodle if you want to, but I like to find orzo at bulk food stores like Sharp Shopper or even just like little Amish stores around, but Walmart used to carry it, and at least my Walmart no longer does, so maybe you guys can let each other know down in the comments where else you found orzo. It's just basically little tiny pasta balls that kind of look like rice. Then I put the rest of the soup right into the pot. The sausage balls kind of just cook in the broth, and they get completely cooked in that. And here you can see me just sauteing some garlic because I wanted to make some homemade cheesy non-garlic bread for lunch to go with our soup. Now this recipe is completely made up, but I will tell you what I did. Basically, I took some garlic naan bread that I got at Aldi, and then a bunch of herbs that I have still growing out on my sun porch. Yes, it's so handy to have fresh herbs year round. The herbs I used were basil and oregano, and I think I even added a little bit of parsley. And then we ate that alongside of our soup, and the kids love this so much. We've been eating it all week long, and yeah, it's not all gone yet, and I'm happy about that actually. Later on that evening, I assembled the Korean beef tacos, and they were delicious. The recipe called for your own homemade coleslaw, which I'm so glad I made. It was delicious, and I just served everything up together on a platter, and then we kind of assembled our own little soft shell tacos. So I had sour cream, the homemade coleslaw, diced up avocado, and then the really delicious, flavorful beef, and we just layered that in our tacos, and it was a delicious supper. My husband was so excited to have leftovers the next night. Also, just a tip, definitely don't dice up enough avocado for the next night because it will instantly go brown. Just do what you need for each meal. And it is so funny how being married to someone totally changes what you eat. I used to never put sour cream on stuff, and now I do because of Josh. And same with him. He would never have touched avocado with a 10-foot pole, and now he really does like avocado on certain things. So I think we're improving each other. This next recipe, I had so much fruit because I was going to make a big fruit tray for our ladies' Bible study, which ended up getting canceled because, you know, sick kids. Oh my, it's okay. We're going out together in the evening sometime while the guys babysit, so it'll be fine. So we're still gonna have it. But I decided to make the dip anyway, and we actually took it along to my grandma's house later that week. This dip is so good. I've been making this for a long time too. I'll link the recipe below. It just takes 3 ingredients: Cool Whip, Nutella, and softened cream cheese. And you just whip that all together using a little hand mixer. And if you have a cute little 2-year-old around, maybe you want to let her lick the beaters. Oh my goodness, she was such a mess, but it was so worth it. And I thought it was worth a mention that I did use the off-brand Nutella. And I thought you wouldn't notice in, you know, something like a dip because you're mixing things together. But honestly, it is definitely better with the name brand Nutella, not just the Walmart off-brand hazelnut spread. I think it's worth the extra 50 cents or whatever to get the real thing. And you can serve this with graham crackers or marshmallows or all kinds of stuff, but I would say my favorite things to dip this in would be the strawberries and the bananas. They're just so delicious with this dip. Wow, that was a ton of recipes. I hope you really enjoyed this, and please go ahead and make a few of them and let me know what you think. I've really rekindled my love for cooking, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it. So if you would like to continue this theme, go ahead and watch this video here where I filmed how I like to meal plan, or also this video here where I do some more cooking. Also, check out the link down below for $25 off your daily harvest order, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone, happy cooking.